All right. We are back. Let me hear. Let me hear. Okay, there we go. So much better. So much better. I fixed it. My stream got messed up. I think it was from when Rumble made me accept the terms of agreement in the middle of my stream. I think that's what happened, but I don't know. I don't know, but it's better now. So thank God. Let me make sure from my Rumble account. Okay. Yay. Okay. It's better. It's fixed. I had to go get a whole new stream key and everything. So. All right. Okay. Next video. Oh, or I guess we could finish this one. Hi, Jack. Everything's fixed now. Thank the Lord. All right. Here we go.
It was practice.
SolarCast runs on truth, and truth runs on those who value it. If you've been fed, consider feeding the archive. SigilumAlexio.com.
So the only reason why I give this video any attention is because I've read the Talmud, and they basically view anyone who's not Jewish as a goyim, and goyim means national cattle. So I'm sure you would practice eugenics on people you think are what they call anyone who's not Jewish a beast, and they're not allowed to have children with the beasts. And seeing as how humans think they can treat animals any way that they want, of course, they would treat other humans as less than human if they view us as beasts. So racist, seriously. All right, what is the next video? The next video is, you need to watch this.
Is the screen all right? Yeah.
This is 5-year-old Rose. She was one of 60 kids to undergo an exhaustive study in the US, using an MRI machine to scan the brains of kids aged 3 to 5 years old. The results, truly shocking. Interactive screen time causes a loss of white matter in the brain.
Well, in the simplest terms, we could actually refer to it as some measure of brain impairment or brain damage.
Professor Mike Nagel from the University of the Sunshine Coast has spent a career studying child brain development.
So white matter in the brain is a material called myelin. So what myelin does is it wraps around the axons of neurons and acts like an insulator, a conductor, not too dissimilar to the plastic coating of a wire. So if we're seeing deficits in myelin production early in life, we're probably seeing deficits in neural connectivity.
Mm-hmm. And that's true. Just so you know, it's not coming from me verifying it. As a psychologist, I know that this is true. I also have a neuroscience supplemental certificate from Harvard. It's not a full degree. It's just 6 weeks of study with Harvard. So on neuroscience. So here it is. It literally doesn't shrink the brain matter, but it changes the architecture of the brain by lowering the volume, which is same word as shrinking, but it lowers the volume and the structure, the way it's organized within the white matter. So that's what the white matter is, what connects the different areas of the brain to each other. So what is shrinking is the cortical thickness in the brain, where you have areas tied to language, literacy, and executive functioning. So excessive interactive screen time is terrible for children. They have an issue with quick problem solving as well. So limit your kids' screen time. It's for they'll hate it, but it's for their best. All right, next video. Stop it, Facebook.
Hey, Facebook is now scanning photos on your phone that you've never even posted. Here's how to shut it off in under a minute. I'm Perry, cybersecurity dad, stuff like...
Okay, so I actually saw this video and I went through it and did it on my phone, so he's very much telling the truth.
This is exactly why I do what I do. So there's a setting called camera roll cloud processing. If it's on, Facebook uploads photos from your phone to Meta servers on an ongoing basis. Then runs AI over them, faces, locations, themes, and the people in them.
This is true for any other phone, any other brand phone, because you obviously would have the Facebook app on it. So this is a setting inside the Facebook app.
Here's how to turn it off. First, open the Facebook app and tap Menu. Second, go to Settings and Privacy, then Settings. Third, tap Camera Roll Sharing Suggestions. And fourth, toggle off Camera Roll Cloud Processing. Blue is on, gray is off. Send this to anyone who taps Allow without reading. Follow Cybersecurity Dad, more like this every day. Hey, Facebook is now scanning photos.
Okay. Next video, dollar bills, y'all.
Hey everyone, it's me, Haley.
I had her on the show, so I sent this over for this to be on my show. It's something going on with her.
Your Libertarian nominee for Congressional District 3
in
Virginia.
And I
am so excited to bring you the good news that today the Supreme Court has ruled that casual drug use, i.e. marijuana, can no longer bar you from purchasing a firearm under your Second Amendment rights. This is huge, especially for those veterans that have to use, a medical card for their PTSD, or for anyone with any disability that needs it. And frankly,
listen, cannabis makes you way more patient, way less to pull a trigger, way less to drive fast, makes you more careful as a person. Seriously, why would you not let gun owners have cannabis? You literally don't become a crazy maniac on cannabis. You can't. It literally slows you, brings you more inward, makes you very aware of yourself in the moment.
It's your right. So, major win today in the Supreme Court for just justice, freedom, and autonomy over yourself and the ability to make the right choices. So, hooray. Let's go.
That is pretty good news. Do you know Bill Gates is lame?
I'm glad to be here voluntarily to testify to help with the committee's work. I'll start with an opening statement in the hearing room. I hope my testimony is helpful to the important work of the committee.
Why do they have this angelic
justice
music
for the victims? Thank you.
Really? I can't find any clips of his testimony. I know it was closed door. Let's see if there's anything new. Oh. Okay. Inside Bill Gates' Epstein closed door testimony. That's just a statement. What is this?
When I asked him, are you saying that the ends justified the means? He said, well, that's probably too strong of language, but I felt that getting billions of dollars for global health was worth it.
Bill Gates
Why is
just
this like this?
testified before the House Oversight Committee up here on Capitol Hill about his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. And here's what I'm learning about what he said. Because remember, this transcribed interview happened behind closed doors. In fact, it was in this room right behind me. So we're relying on Gates' opening statement and members who were inside the room to learn just what he said. Now, in his opening statement, Bill Gates said, quote, "I never witnessed nor had any indication that Epstein was engaged in ongoing criminal conduct." He also walked through his timeline of his relationship with Epstein, saying they were professionally connected in 2011 when Epstein said he could help Gates raise money for global health initiatives. Bill Gates went on to say that meeting with Epstein was, quote, "a grave error in judgment," and he apologized if time spent with Epstein, quote, "lent him any credibility." Now, Congresswoman Melanie Stansbury, who you just heard, said Bill Gates admitted to knowing about Epstein's reputation and that he was convicted of sexual crimes. But in her telling, Gates said he believed that the relationship was an acceptable means for accessing wealthy donors. Now, Gates has not been charged with any crimes or accused of any wrongdoing. And as for the House
And he
Oversight
had said
Committee,
he
they're not
never, didn't even know him, never spoke to him.
stopping here in terms of their investigation. In fact, right before Bill Gates went in to testify, House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer told reporters that he's hoping that Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche will come before the committee to talk to them sometime in July.
When I asked him, are you saying that the ends justified the means? He said, well, that's probably too strong of language, but I felt that getting billions of dollars for global health was worth it.
Bill Gates just testified before the House Oversight Committee
Well,
up here on Capitol Hill.
Okay. Okay. Next video. Israelis want this deleted. Ooh. Let's see what it is. All right. The Israelis want this video erased from the internet. Says who?
An Israeli request to stop the distribution of a book that contains some pretty damning information about the Israeli Secret Service, the Mossad, if it is true. Here's ABC's John Martin.
The most sensational claim in the book involves this bloody day, the Beirut Marine Barracks bombing. The book says Israeli agents kept vital information from U.S. Marines that might have saved the lives of 241 Americans killed here. Israeli government sources deny this account, but according to the book, an Israeli informant saw
It's
a
called By
Mercedes
Way of Deception.
truck being fitted with secret panels for explosives. Israeli troops were told to be on the lookout for the truck. But the book says the Israelis intentionally gave the Americans only a vague warning, not mentioning the kind or size of vehicle.
Interesting.
The book says Israeli intelligence was...
I can't see the name, but that's it. By Way of Deception. I guess a former Mossad officer wrote it.
willing to let the terrorists succeed to protect their sources and out of contempt for U.S. intelligence. It says agents withheld information on U.S. hostages for similar...
An Israeli request to stop the
Interesting. I wonder what kind of read it is. I mean, you got to listen to all sides. You got to hear all perspectives if you want truth. It will be uncomfortable listening to the side you disagree with. It is necessary, though, because it's what she said, he said, and the truth. The truth always lies somewhere in the middle, especially when you're dealing with governments. The truth lies with the Israeli people. But they're censored and they're not allowed to post anything about their government. They're not allowed to talk about politics online. And so when that is occurring, you know that something is wrong there because they're not allowed to speak for fear of the rest of the world finding out. So I have the feeling that most Israelis disagree with the extremists that are in power there. But every government is being overtaken by New World Order extremists. So... there's that. We're all slaves. We're all equally slaves. And this hatred that they try to keep alive for each other needs to go away. We need to realize that, yes, there are religions that have questionable practices or practices that are totally wrong in the eyes of the West. But you got to understand, these people are brainwashed by very powerful psych psychology cult leaders. And most of these people... the average person believes that they're doing the right thing, even though we can clearly see that it is wrong. It's just as it is a slow trickle to convince you to buy into a cult system or a lie. You know, the boil the frog thing Candace always talks about. It is a slow process to unwash the brainwashing, and you can't expect these people to totally understand it. You can't just barrage them with truth. It's shocking to the system, and their brain will protect them from what they see as a threat. So you have to be kind. That's the foot in the door. And be like Jesus said, because that kindness and love opens the door for deeper understanding. And you have to not judge them, because it's not our place. It's only the place of Christ to judge you on behalf of the Divine Father. So you have to understand that there is a level of brainwash that these people are dealing with, and you have to bring them out of their ignorance. Ignorance versus stupidity is, ignorance is, or evilness is doing something wrong without knowing what you're doing is wrong. Or you hate doing it, but it's expected of you, or something like that. Wickedness is the love of what is wrong. You know that it is wrong, and you love it anyway. So you have to learn to distinguish the difference between an ignorant person and a person who knows better, and really approach meet these people at the level that they're at, because the real work is converting these death cults, the regular people, converting them away. That's the only solution. I mean, more war is more bloodshed that Christ said is wrong. As much as I would say I would love for the entire Middle East to be blown off the map, I know that there are entire innocent people involved in something like that. So the real solution is to put out content like this for the youth to discover, or those that are brave enough to go and research their belief systems, or, you know, however it comes to them, but making yourself available to recondition these people in Christ consciousness. They don't have to know that's exactly what you're doing, but you don't have to use the Christian words to do so. You can use the principles behind Christianity, which happens to be the same principles behind recovery, even non-spiritual recovery. So you use the principles of recovery and lead by example to pull these people out of their cult involvement. Anyway, soapbox done. Next video. Thank you, Jack. Trust me, I have one side of me that just wants to cut the head off, and then those feelings I keep reserved for the wicked-hearted, the wicked that deserve to be removed. Most people don't fall under that bubble, even if it's like becoming a psychologist and learning about criminals and that kind of stuff. Like when you go into a jail, like most of those people, 95% of them would prefer to have not been in the position that they're in to put them there. Most of them either had bad association or were bad problem solvers and just committed an evil deed because of, you know, wrong place, wrong time, or wrong place, right time, whatever you want to call it. Or just hung out with bad people, or believed that they were doing something good or right, and it resulted in a lot of pain and loss. And the other 5%, which you realize is very small, those are the ones that really like to be criminals and like to be wicked and enjoy carrying the spirit of the devil. And that's their place in the universe. I mean, that's their destiny. That's fine. But it's important that we recognize those that you don't waste like Jesus said, you don't throw your pearls before swine, meaning know your audience. Don't try and convert the wicked. The wicked love what they do. God will bring you to those that have a moldable heart. And I just try to keep myself in an attitude that allows God to continue using me as a tool to help others that are in dark spaces. But yeah, Jack, you're funny. Okay. Next video. Trump said this out loud.
Okay, somebody posted this clip of Trump at the G7 with the caption of this video, "Trump was definitely not supposed to admit this publicly." And I will say, I'm not sure that I agree, because I'm pretty sure part of this whole thing is that they have to disclose and, secretly tell you what's really going on. So it might be one of those. I think they call it informed consent, or it's some type of karmic law. But listen to this, and then we have to discuss.
Also, we run out of reserves in about 4 weeks. There are reserves all over the world, and we would really run out. And there'll be a time when you wouldn't be able to get it. And you want to see bedlam?
So he was talking about the importance of this Iran deal, because otherwise it's risking bedlam when all of a sudden, we all run out of oil, right?
All right,
But
that karmic law that he's talking about. So all light and dark energies, all advanced beings, whether you believe that they are demons or angels or aliens, whatever they are, the interdimensional beings that are more advanced than us, whether they are dark or light, are still bound by the laws of nature or physics. And karmic law has to do with metaphysics. So it's a type of physics called metaphysics. And that karmic law is that before you commit an action that can harm people, you put it in plain sight to let those that have the keen eye spot the warning and have a chance to save themselves from destruction. This is where the ignorance comes into play. Ignorance also is a lack of knowledge. Karmic law does not provide safety for your lack of knowledge. So if you are one of those that miss the sign because you have a lack of knowledge, that's part of what's written in your story. So, karmic law, you must state what you're going to do before you do it. If you're going to brainwash people, you need to put it somewhere. Hollywood does this all the time. They leave little Easter eggs for you. They're telling you what they're going to do and what they are doing. That way, when you come to them wanting riches, you are aware of what it takes.
Concern is not just about oil, because the Strait of Hormuz also produces, or rather is the place that all the sulfur gets transported, and also the fertilizer that feeds billions of people. Now, I'm not a fan of synthetic fertilizer, but currently the world model is set up needing synthetic fertilizer because they're not doing natural farming methods. With natural farming methods, you don't need synthetic fertilizer. You can use it's called JDAM, natural farming practices. It can be made on a huge scale too. It's not just like your little hobby farm thing, but currently that's not happening. But my thing is this: if they're talking about how we need to all rethink about how we eat and what foods we consume, and we need to cut back on meat and yada, 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 it just seems interesting that this crisis unfolds where oil shortages and fertilizer shortages, which could change the way the food system works, and then they come to the rescue with, we can actually lab grow this stuff. They're trying to lab grow butter. They got lab grown milk, lab grown meat apparently, or obviously is being discussed. I think there's now allowed to be lab grown salmon in California at Costco. So I don't know, but we got to keep our heads on a swivel, because this whole thing could get really weird really quick. Now, there's a lot of strangeness happening around the world today. I think we can all wrap our heads around that. And I think that it has never been more important before in human history to be of sound mind and sound body. Detox the crazy chemicals we're exposed to, boost your vibrational frequency, and decalcify your pineal gland. And right now, Chalk is giving away free $100 bags of organic heirloom cacao from Bolivia. The Chalk.
I do not need to listen to his ad. Sorry. Should have paused that. My bad. I was distracted. Okay. Getting back on not distracted. Whoopsies. What's the next one? What is the next one? Good for you guys.
3 professional baseball players wrote a Bible verse on their gay pride hats, and now the MLB is sending them warnings because it is Pride Month. So that means all of your favorite teams in pretty much every league probably going to change their logo, they're going to wear gay pride hats, and they might bring some interesting guests along with it.
So
but what
ridiculous.
happened in San Francisco sparked a lot of controversy, and it's getting the attention of a lot of people, including people like the vice president. Those 3 pitchers on the San Francisco Giants, and they wrote Genesis 9:12 through 16 on it, and that talks about the the rainbow in the Bible, which was God's covenant with Noah. Now, the fourth pitcher on the Giants, Ryan Hedges, he didn't even wear the gay pride hat. He just straight up wore the regular hat. And he said, it's something that I feel like I was forced to support when I morally don't support it. There's no hatred behind it.
I told you, man, Armageddon's coming because Christianity is making a comeback and it's stepping in the fight. I mean, it's coming. So you have the Semites at odds with each other, the Arabs and the Jews, and then that's been going on forever. And now you have the political extremists that have emerged out of that are on a vendetta to make a minority a majority. I mean, I think the Jews believe that there's like 7 different genders and stupid shit, which has nothing to do with human beings and the sentient life that exists on the 3rd dimension. In higher dimensions, that is true because it is it's a different realm. 3D realm, we have hard objects. The higher you go, the more ethereal it gets. Therefore, reproduction is not the same, and gender is not the same for, an infinite being doesn't possess gender. It can express as gender towards you, but that has nothing to do with human beings. Human beings, animals, even plants are male and female, and this is how you procreate. So if it was meant to be any other way, it would be that way.
And I think that's misinterpreted. Now, this is where it gets controversial. So the MLB said the writing on the cap violates the rules. They clarified by saying it's not what they wrote, they just can't write on it. Quote, we respect the player's right to free expression. However, writing of any kind of messages is prohibited. And I don't know, to me, that just seems a little bit contradicting. And then in an interview, they asked one of the pitchers what the writing was all about, and this is what he said.
God's covenant and a promise that he makes to us, that, his faithfulness and his mercy. And it's just kind of something I believe in, and I stand firm in that. And thankfully, we live in a country where, we have the freedom to believe what we want. So, and express what we want.
Use their own laws against them. Use their own laws against them. I do believe you should have the freedom to believe what you want. God gave you that freedom, so no man should take it away. This sounds good. James Franco rabbit hole. Let's see.
Y'all didn't see what James Franco did?
The actor?
Yes.
No. Wait, I saw something weird.
Dude,
happening.
he's dropping like clues right now. Y'all didn't, okay, hold on.
Wait, what?
Dropping yeah. Peep
clues
this.
to what?
Look at the hold on.
Right? He said clues to what?
So James Franco, out of nowhere, goes on TikTok. He makes a new TikTok account, and he's posting these weird cryptic videos.
They got him. Wasn't he the one with that weird case too?
Yeah, he disappeared for a minute because he had an SA case and all this other stuff.
Actors disappeared, comes back acting weird, continues. Let me see.
This is James Franco. Me, really James Franco. I'm here at my house. I'm not promoting anything. I'm making this account because, all right, some serious shit's going on, okay? And look, here, this is real, okay? I'm real. It's me, not AI, not anything, okay? Could AI James do this?
Okay, hold on. So right there. So pause real quick. Look at his handle. That's his handle. He's saying that's not AI, right? James Franco, 2319. So there is a code.
Here we go.
So there's a little movie by the name of Monsters, Inc.
If y'all couldn't see what Monsters, Inc. was about right off rip, you were not awake when this came out, because this is about adrenochrome and the cannibalism and scaring children and ripping their faces off so they can collect adrenalized blood.
Come on.
No. It was the emergency code that the monster shouted whenever a monster makes contact with a human child or brings a human object into their world. That's the same code.
Come on.
What are the chances that he uses that particular code? He's being all cryptic.
What are the chances?
They're
high.
And just for context, if people don't know about Monsters, Inc., is about monsters.
Hollywood is feeling guiltier and guiltier and guiltier for the shit they do. Hollywood is dividing right now. It's dividing. I mean, I'm telling you, if you don't see the signs, the division between, it's the spiritual divisions are getting more noticeable in higher places. I think it's a good thing.
Kids and gets the energy from the kids.
Can't make this shit up.
And uses that to power their city.
Adrenochrome. What is that?
Adrenochrome.
Yeah.
And then we have this code that James Franco uses at the same time.
Is that him?
I don't know.
What do you guys think? I think they're onto something. All right, next video. Rude. Oh, she's got hit with a rock. This right here, I've never seen this video, but I can tell you exactly where she is because I've seen a bunch of documentaries, and I showed you guys a couple documentaries about Syria and that place. That is an ISIS detention camp where it's all female, and those are their children. And those little boys are throwing rocks. Oh. These kids have to see this kind of violence. You know what you put yourself into, girl.
You actually see how evil these people are. They absolutely hate us. They despise you. They go into your country.
But that woman is an Arab woman that's trying to report on the bullshit going on there. She doesn't have her hijab on. That's why she's getting rock thrown at her.
They will use the benefit system as much as possible. They will suck your country dry. They will have a crazy amount of children. It will increase their numbers and over.
And I find videos like this coming out of all kinds of countries about this group.
Populate your country with theirs. Eventually, when they become a majority, they install a caliphate and they bring on Sharia law. And what you see in that video, a white woman being stoned just for simply being there reporting on what's happening.
He doesn't understand that's not just a white woman, that's an Arab woman. He doesn't. Some of us are better at recognizing phenotype.
A regularity. They have no morals. They have no compassion.
I wouldn't say they have no morals. Their morals are different than yours. Their morals are very different than ours, and it just doesn't coincide with Western society. I mean, I don't agree with their belief system in the slightest, but when you're arguing morals, that's almost a lose-lose conversation, because there is an art to freeing someone from the grips of a cult. These people are in a death cult. It's a very delicate process waking them up. First, it is waking them up and getting them away from their environment. That is the first step. Exposing them to the rest of the world.
They have tunnel vision. If you don't have the same beliefs and
all right, Rich
ideologies
Dale, have
as
a good
them,
one.
You're basically an animal to them. I've said this so many times already, but wake the fuck up.
All right, next video. Israel scheming? No way.
Some bombshell tea for you. So Israel is going to be a problem. Well, that you already knew, but now Netanyahu is coming out and he's telling official sources in the United States, yeah, we're not going to recognize the deal. Yeah, what deal between the USA and Iran?
Are
and
you
we're
shocked?
Still going to do what we want in Lebanon with their
How
imperialism,
could you be shocked?
with their war crimes, with their aggression against the Lebanese people. I've been saying this for about a month, and it's just going to be, I guess, up to Iran to put an end to Israeli aggression. Also, this is a little worrisome. Yesterday, Benjamin Netanyahu said that he's working in a meeting with the head of Mossad. Before I give my thoughts on this, make sure to check out the link in my bio. I am only funded by you, the people, so thank you for helping me fund my life and my media, doing all this work that I do. I either do the Purple Populist Show, which you can subscribe to in my bio for $5 a month, or you could cop a hat today. The white hat and the black hat have been the best sellers so far. Both great hats. I don't know. I don't know in terms of what this means. Once again, I'm not Einstein. I never claimed to be Einstein. Maybe it's a scare tactic. Maybe they're trying to intentionally stir the shit so people like me will report on it, right? Could be some reverse psychology thing going on there. Or it could be something a lot more serious. So I keep you updated when I know.
I mean, they're looking at this comment right here about the pages. Like, that's what I keep thinking about too. Good night, Rich. Thank you. I appreciate you. You're very sweet. These people freak me out, man. I'm not gonna lie. Their government freaks me out. If we don't know what I mean by these people, get out of here. Yeah, this shit is freaky. Freaky dicky. I like it. Tulsi talks.
Before the COVID pandemic, Dr. Fauci, as head of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, provided millions in U.S. taxpayer dollars to fund dangerous gain-of-function research on bat coronaviruses at the Wuhan Institute of Virology, work which is now widely viewed as the source of the unintentional lab leak that sparked the pandemic. Now, in support of President Trump's maximum transparency mandate, today, on my final day as Director of National Intelligence, I'm releasing never-before-seen communications and documents that expose exactly how Fauci worked with politicized career leadership in the intelligence community to suppress the truth about his actions, the virus's lab leak origins, and his role in directing U.S. funding for this dangerous research that caused immeasurable harm and countless lost lives. Now, these documents expose Fauci's direct role in influencing and manipulating IC assessments on COVID-19 and how Fauci lied.
But what is going to happen to Mr. Fauci ain't jack shit nothing because he's been sucking D for the 13 families. What should happen is this man should be hung publicly for how many lives were tragically taken from his evil deeds. He should be publicly hung for the world to see and get justice for all those people that were put on vents, that were put on fentanyl in the hospital, that died being taken off of vents that they didn't even need. But of course, nothing will happen to Fauci because he works for the you-know-whats and practices the eugenics for the you-know-whos. And they will protect this man till the day he dies of natural causes, unless we have a vigilante who wants to take things into their own hands. That will be the only thing that happens to this motherfucker, life taker, mass murderer. Can I get an amen? Can I get a witness? Okay. Anyway, here's Johnny Depp. We're going to look into that. I want to see the release of these files. That could be something I do on the show for the next few days is go through these files. All right. Johnny Depp talking his shit. Says Johnny Depp calls out Ellen for cannibalism and being diagnosed with Kuru. Fuck is Kuru? What is Kuru? Okay, Kuru primarily refers to a rare and fatal brain disease. It can also mean to come in Japanese. Okay, so the disease, Kuru translate to tremble or shaking. A rare incurable neurodegenerative disorder caused by prions, misfolded infectious. Prions are misfolded infectious proteins. It is transmitted among the four people. What are the four people? Through ritualistic cannibalism, specifically by consuming the brains of deceased relatives. Victims experience. This is why you don't eat humans. Like, there's a reason why if humans were meant to be cannibals like other animals, the death of a human would smell tantalizing to people. But your own species and this is a cross mammalian behavior. The death of their own species triggers a very unique smell to your own species that makes you sickened. Victims experience severe tremors, loss of coordination, sudden abnormal bursts of laughter, which led to it being called laughing sickness. It's almost always fatal within 2 years of symptom onset. All right.
Ellen's got kuru from eating infected human brain matter. That's why her body and mind are falling apart on camera. It was an open secret on her show. They were handing out dumplings laced with human meat to audience members. Ellen's got kuru from eating.
I wonder if this is real. Like, how do we know this is not AI? Interesting. But I've heard that she's pretty mean in Hollywood. Millennial moms, here we go.
I'm sorry I told you to shut the fuck up. But maybe if you weren't such a fucking ass. Nope, that is. I lost my temper and was just trying to get you to hear me because you won't fucking let me finish a sentence. Oh, that's not it. I'm sorry I told you to shut the fuck up.
Oh.
I lost my temper and lost control of my emotions because I'm sick and fucking tired of having the same guy. I'm sorry I told you to shut the fuck up. But maybe if you weren't such a fucking ass. Nope.
I relate to this. This is one of the reasons why my oldest says I was a terrible mother. If you agree, please let me know so I can tell her I'm sorry. If you disagree, please let me know so I can let her know. The other parent said, hey, you're doing the best you can, Mom. All right. Next video. I mean, he did deserve it. Okay, so they're going after a child murderer. They used the Dexter theme song. Dexter was a great show. Wow. Well, can always rely on the cleanup crew in prison. It's a little justice served, in my opinion. And yes, Jack, a species that feeds on its cell phone survival. Exactly. All right, last video. I don't think he does, Trump.
Are you going to be able to control Israel from attacking Lebanon?
Yeah, I will be. I mean, they have a lot of respect for me, and they do as I say.
Are you going to be able to control Israel?
I don't know. I don't think he's going to listen to you, old Trumpy. I think you need to. Shouldn't have got involved in the first place, dude. You know, you shouldn't have got involved in the first place. I think we got walked into a trap with that one, and I'm mad at him for that. He better clean this up. And he better make sure that BB stops the spying on Americans. BB stops trying to censor American mouths, and BB stops trying to fuse our military and stop installing puppets into our government. That's what I think you need to tell BB, President Trump, with all due respect. All right. As we wrap up tonight, you know, I've been thinking about how strange life is. Bigger houses, more money, more followers, what? More approval, more stuff. And then life throws us one of those moments. A health scare, a loss, a close call, a reminder that none of us know how much time we have left on the clock. And then suddenly the scoreboard changes. You realize success isn't measured by what you've accumulated. It's measured by what you appreciated. The people you loved, the memories you made, the kindness that you gave away, the second chances that you embraced. And the truth is, every single one of us is living on borrowed time. Not in a scary way, not in a unsure way, but in a precious way, a beautiful way. Because if life lasted forever, we probably wouldn't value it at all, would we? We'd be bored. We'd postpone everything. We'd just continuously keep saying someday. But life's greatest lessons is that someday isn't guaranteed. So if there's a dream that you've been putting off, definitely start working towards that dream. If there's someone you need to forgive, forgive. If there's someone you love, tell them. Even if you don't hear it back. Because you don't need to hear it back. Love is not transactional. So if you love someone, you love them regardless. So tell them. If your body has been begging for better treatment, maybe listen before it sends another really strongly worded letter. Because your soul deserves a good place to live. And your future self deserves a fighting chance. The older I get, the more I realize happiness isn't found in the extraordinary moments. It's hidden inside ordinary ones. Dinner with family, a phone call from a friend, your dog that is so excited to see you that you have to tell him to chill every time. A sunset, a good laugh, a quiet morning. You know, those tiny moments become the memories we carry forever. So tonight, don't leave here worried about how fragile life is. Leave here grateful for how precious it is. Because you're on this side of the ground. Because every sunrise is a symbol of another chance. Every lesson is another opportunity to become who you were meant to be. And if you're lucky enough to get a second chance, a third chance, or even a 15th chance, just take it. Life clearly isn't finished with you yet. So thank you for spending part of your precious time with me tonight. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and don't forget, your body may be a temple for your soul, but judging by the noises mine makes when I stand up, some of those temples are definitely in need of renovation. So good night, everybody. Thank you for hanging with me. Like Jack said, keep things simple, and you will be happy. All right, let me find a show for you guys for me to raid for you guys. Let's see. Let's see who this third culture patriot is. We don't need to listen to an ad. Skip. Blah, blah,
Starts to go.
blah.
This is the sulfur.
All right. I don't know who this is, but we're going to say hello. All right. And this lady looks interesting. All right. And without further ado, I will see you guys later.